Hello YouTube, Totalhenry here. Welcome to another edition of what I'm reading and watching. So this is a weekly show where I talk about the manga and anime that I've watched over the past week, and I have some new ones for you today. Now remember, if you don't want spoilers, which I try not to give, or you just don't like a series and you want to skip ahead, the times for all the things I'm talking about are in the description below, so you can go ahead and skip the ones you don't want. So we're going to start off, like always, with Toriko, chapter 304. Now, last week was a really good chapter, in my opinion. So it was hard for this week to be better. It was an okay chapter. And I wanted a little bit more damage done. I don't want to spoil what happens, but Toriko, he is injured, so I am, I guess, happy to see that, because there was such this massive attack, and for them to get off without a scratch, that always bugs me. So I don't want to spoil it, but so I was a little bit happy that Toriko still had lasting effects from it. The other thing that bugged me in this chapter was I didn't like that the Monkey King was only playing. He wasn't really fighting seriously. And I understand why they did that. The artist probably wanted to show that the Monkey King is just so strong and they just can't beat him. But I think there were better ways to go about doing that. This is my personal opinion. So next is Bleach 608. I'm trying to make these faster. So this battle between Ichiba Hayoshiba, the monk of the Zero Squad, and the leader of the Quinchis, I forget his name. I should write it down. This is getting really intense, and Ichiba, he is so good. I didn't think this battle was going to last that long. It only makes me wonder, like, is he going to beat the bad guy before Ichigo gets there? Where the hell is Ichigo? But I am really enjoying Bleach. The last few chapters have been incredible, and the power Ichiba showed from his Zanpakuto at the very end of the chapter really interests me. And I'm trying to figure out, like, how is that going to work? Again, not going to spoil it. So yeah, keeping things moving. Next is Nisekoi, chapter 150, and this is actually the 3-year anniversary of Nisekoi, so congratulations. This was I'm going to say this was a good chapter, only because I'm excited for what is going to happen next. I guess I'll just say that there's going to be a field trip, a class field trip, and now Shikomi, he puts a spin on it. He puts a spin on the groups that the characters are going to be in, and it's really, really funny. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that part. I was surprised by it. The next thing, oh God, I do hope this is a longer arc, a longer story arc. If you've been reading Nisekoi, there was a storyline, forget what volume, early on, where Raku meets Chitoge's mother. That was like 10 or so chapters, and I thought one of the best moments in Nisekoi. I would like to see another story arc that is around that long. So hopefully this is at least like 5-10 chapters, not just 2 or 3. So already this is going to be at least a 2-chapter story arc, because it's not over. So I am really looking forward to Nisekoi for the next few chapters in Nisekoi, and I think some of the comedy is going to be really funny. Isn't comedy always funny? Isn't that the definition of comedy? Okay, moving on is Shokugeki no Soma chapter 98. This was another great chapter. They're in the middle of their final round showdown. They're in their final round of the Shokugeki. And all the 3 contestants are starting to prepare their dishes, and they're talking about the background, and there are people commenting on how the dishes are going to turn out. And this is just sort of a standard Shokugeki no Soma chapter. Not much to talk about. It's just a chapter that makes you excited for what's going to happen. People talking about, oh, he's going to cook this. He has olive oil. He's going to use that on blah, 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 blah. A lot of food terms that I don't really understand. But overall, it was a good chapter. The art is really good. A lot of nice panels. Okay. So that was it for the weekly series that I am going to review every week. You may have noticed there was no One Piece. That's because One Piece was out. So to make up for that, I have some more new series. Some I've talked about before and some I've never talked about before. So next up is Hajime no Ippo. Chapters 1078 and 1079 came out the other day online and I was able to read them. Great chapters. I am such a huge fan of this manga. I don't care that it's long. I don't care that it's I'll probably die before this thing never ends. It is so good. And it's hard to talk about some of these things without spoiling it. But I really enjoyed these two chapters, and these are some of the best chapters that I've read in such a long time. This is going to be a slight spoiler, so you can feel free to move on whichever way you want, or just listen to me if you don't care. There was an announcement at the end of the last chapter, I think 1077, and they talked about it more in 1078, was Takamaru. He is going to get another title shot, which is great because he is such a great character, and this is another boxing match where he's going to take it seriously. So it's going to be sort of another Brian Hawk or David Eagle match, not with those opponents, but another serious showdown. He's going to try to unify, I believe, the middleweight belts. I think that's the weight division he's in. So this is really, really exciting. And they say in the manga that if he does that, he will get a shot at a super middleweight belt, which would be 3 world title belts for him. In, I think, maybe junior middleweight, middleweight, and then super middleweight. God. He already has the junior middleweight and the middleweight belts. So if he can unify this one, if he can unify the middleweight belt, which means if he can get another one of the world title belts and have 2 of them as opposed to just one belt, then they're going to allow him, Takamaru, to get a super middleweight title shot. So this is very, very exciting. I can't wait to see this. He's one of my favorite characters, and I love it when he takes the fight seriously. Like, I'm not so into the comedy. Some of it's funny. He has some good comedic moments in there. Then the next chapter revolves around Ippo and his loss to Gonzalez, I believe. And Takamaru's talking about how if he wants to keep boxing, he needs to just look at it as a hobby, because trying to go on into the world and like get a world title, he just thinks Ippo's not cut out for that. So I personally don't think Ippo's cut out for it either. I want to see him do it. I want to see him get the featherweight title belt and beat Richard something, the featherweight champion, Richard Martinez, I think. Because I think that'd be great, and that's what a lot of fans are hoping for. But at the same time, knowing Ippo's personality, I just don't see him being able to be ruthless and being able to do that. Now, this manga series is going to take forever. Takamaru has said he wants to win 6 world title divisions from junior middleweight all the way up to the heavyweight. And he's only won 2, and this is almost 1,100 chapters, so I don't know if the artist or if the author is gonna like keep going all the way with all 6 of the divisions, whether he's gonna stop at some point towards the end. But I'm on this ride and I love it. Hajime no Ippo. This is a great manga. Now the next manga I'm going to talk about is Boku Girl. I don't know if any of you know this series. There will be a picture up on the video somewhere on the screen, probably right next to my finger. So you'll be able to see what it looks like, and you can look it up. Now, I've read 25 of the 31, 32 chapters that are out, and this is a really funny, sort of perverted series. Now, because I've read so many chapters, I'm just going to explain the gif of it. So it's about a kid named Mizuki, who he's a boy, but he has a girlish face. Everybody thinks he's a girl. He gets asked out by guys who think he's a girl, and he's in high school. Nothing seems to be going right for him. He has a crush on a girl named Fujiwara, I believe it's pronounced. So he has a crush on her. They're friends. He really likes her, and he has a best friend named Takujo. So Mizuki and Takujo, they are best friends. Takujo is a really big, muscular guy. Mizuki is a really short, skinny boy that has a face of a girl. So weird combination. They're best friends. Takujo, he knows he's a guy. He sees him as a guy. And then one day, Loki, you may know Loki as like a villain in, I think, mythology, and it's famous for being a bad guy of Thor, a nemesis of Thor. There's a character named Loki in the series that turns Mizuki into a girl. So, now that he is a girl, he still has the same face. He still has the brain of a boy. He still thinks he's a boy, even though some of his thought processes are sort of girlish. He still likes that girl. The girl, Fujiwara, likes Takura, his best friend. So this is already a love triangle. But now that Mizuki is a girl, Takura is sort of falling in love with him. So it's this crazy romantic comedy, ecchi type thing. It's incredible. It's like a guilty pleasure read. Now I would say if you're a little kid, maybe this isn't for you, but if you're older, it's really funny, and I highly recommend it if you're into some of these things. I can't stress how funny it is. Just some of the random stuff that happens, some of it involving nudity. So this main story is Mizuki. He's trying to change back to a boy. She's trying to have fun. Yeah, Loki's a she in this, by the way. She's trying to have fun and torment Mizuki. And it's just a whole bunch of relationship problems, a whole bunch of weird humor. This is a great series, and as soon as I'm done here, I'm going to go and read some more chapters. Okay, so another thing I want to talk about is the American version of Shonen Jump being the big Japanese manga magazine in Japan. The American version does something called Jumpstart, where whenever the Japanese version is start a new series off in Japan, they will bring these series over to America. And they will bring over 3 series and show the first 3 chapters of each series, and then the readers get to vote in America, and the one that wins, they're going to keep showing. So I'm going to start talking about these when they come up. They're in the middle of one. So one series just ended. The first 3 chapters just ended. The last one came out last week, and I'm going to talk about it. Next week, I'm going to talk about the second series, and the week after that, I will talk about the 3rd series that just ended and give you my thoughts and opinions on all of those series. So the one I'm going to talk about is Takujo no Ageha, the table tennis of Ageha. This is, I hope I'm pronouncing those words right, this is a sports manga about table tennis, or as I want to say, ping pong. This is a really great series. The first 3 chapters were really solid. I love sports mangas. Maybe you could tell. Maybe I've mentioned that. So I really enjoyed this series. It's about a kid named Ageha who's in high school, who's like a ping pong table tennis prodigy. He was in Germany for a while. He comes back, and there's a female character. I forget her name, and her grandfather, who she lives with, runs a table tennis place, or table tennis sort of, I don't know what you would call it, place people go and just play table tennis. And Aga, he lives there. They don't like each other. Apparently, they're engaged. And Aga's dream is to become the best table tennis player in all of Japan. And he has to battle against like 13 other students of former table tennis masters. And one of the table tennis masters is that female student's grandfather. So there's a whole lot of things going on. The table tennis is great. The art is great. And this is a series that I really want to see being Jump. Of course, there's another series in there in the Jump Start that is also really good, and I can't have both. So I'll try to see if I can find this online. But if I do find online, this will definitely be added to my weekly series that I talk about. So finally, after all the manga's done, I'm going to talk about anime. Now, the anime that I watched was Shadow Skill. Can you see this? There we go. Shadow Skill. I bought this DVD at a garage sale for $1. This is Volume 1. I also got Volume 4, just in case I like it. Maybe you guys have heard of this. This is an old series. This is a manga series, I think back in... No, it ended in 98, so a few years before that, maybe 93 or something, it started. And there were like a few OVAs made of it, and then a 26-episode series. I've started watching it, and I kind of like it. It's okay. It's sort of a, not guilty pleasure, it's entertaining. It's not a series that I'm going to go back and want to rewatch and want to relive again, like I'm doing with Pokemon that I've told you about. I'm gone back and I'm rewatching all the episodes. Some of them some Pokemon episodes I haven't seen, so they are new to me. But this Shadow Skill, as much as I am enjoying it, I don't think I'm gonna go back and watch it. I mean, maybe some of the episodes that I have on DVD, just because I have them. It's about a kingdom. It has many warriors, and there are great warriors called Sival. And it's sort of an elite breed of warriors. A lot of manga and anime have this like sort of elite warriors. And the main character, her right there, Ella, that's the girl, by the way. She's one of these warriors, and that's her brother in the background. And they're always in debt. And it's just sort of their adventures in this world. And it's more entertaining than it is good. I've seen the first 5 episodes out of 26, and so far, it's fun. It's a fun series. The opening theme song is pretty good. Okay, so that's it for this week. I covered a lot of interesting stuff. I will be back next week with another helping of what I'm reading and watching. Boom.